When we look back into the sun, this ethereal light that we left will not burn out. While to where we run, in the time that we had, it was worth it to know that this is not the end. It's just a part of the puzzle, the piece found its way to. This is not the end. It's just a split in the pathway of fate. Take a new trail. Catch your breath and pour your light. No light to fall. Find your new way, just in time. No left to fall. This is not the end. It's just a part of the puzzle.
Why intensely sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Bar Bissell FTF Cup Series.
Down to the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag.
Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up as they are going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Oh, get your front gear.
He's got it. He's got it. Get there. No.
Canvas is in. Just the way we drew it up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dover here on FTF.GG. It is round number 6 of the eNASCAR qualifying iRacing series, but let's be honest, who cares? It's NFL Draft Night 1. We've got that going on, and that's almost the main focus of the broadcast tonight, so you likely will hear our reaction drift in to the Monster Mile here from Dover as we'll do, I think, 120 laps. I think that's what's on the board for tonight nonetheless. Jacob Pitts, James Pike, Caleb Hoffman with you, Justin Malillo, our crew chief, Zach Johnson, our producer, and some defensive end just got drafted by the Raiders. So we get to we get to move along, and I think that means the Falcons are next. So Caleb's going to be on edge for the next couple of minutes. But James, these drivers are going to be on edge here at Dover. This track is fast. It's difficult. And it's tough to pass. It's pretty single groove.
I don't get why Caleb's about to be on edge because he's a Titans fan, not a Falcons fan. But I digress.
He's both. He's both.
To the point that you were making, though, and to talk about actual racing here, the thing that stands out to me about Dover compared to everywhere else we visit on the eNASCAR schedule is that relative to its size, it may be one of the fastest tracks in the calendar. You think of a place like an auto club where you may be traveling 40 or 50 miles an hour faster down the straightaway, especially entering 1 and 3, but it doesn't necessarily feel like that because the track is pretty wide and you've got room to roam. Dover is relatively narrow, but you have a lot of high banking. And even though you're only going, maybe 160, 170 off to the corner, it feels a lot faster than that. And that means that things come at you much more quickly than you would expect. And it can also mean that you can run into trouble much more quickly than you would expect, especially with the way turn 2 funnels on corner exit.
And the banking here, Caleb, it's a self-cleaning racetrack. 24 degrees of banking in the corners, similar to what we saw at Bristol 2 weeks ago. The difference, though, the front and back straightaways banked at 9 degrees. So if you crash anywhere on this racetrack, if you go down, you're likely coming back up.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. Self-cleaning racetrack, and Dover really is just about a mile version of Bristol, where, this place is just so fast. The speeds here, it's more like a mile and a half in terms of your speeds, but it's built like just a big version of Bristol with how much banking there is around this racetrack. It is a super tough track to navigate. They call it the Monster Mile just because this place is so intimidating to race around. And it's going to be interesting here tonight for sure. And I mean, looking even ahead at the schedule coming up, Dover here tonight, obviously, with all the challenges it brings. We have another racetrack like that in Darlington that is so grueling in 2 weeks. And then Charlotte, obviously, to wrap all of this up. So these drivers are in for a gauntlet here in the last 3 rounds of the Road to Pro Qualifier Series, but can't wait to get into it here.
Qualifying is complete. Let's get to our starting grid here from Dover. Starting on the pole, Alex McCullum in the number 11 truck. He'll lead us off. He's got Zach Nichols to the outside. Row number 2, Jake Matheson, Andrew Navarro, Brian Mercurio, and Seth DeMerchant. Couple of former winners this season. Line up row number 3. Ray Alfalo, the winner at Bristol 2 weeks ago. Blaze Crawford to the outside. Daniel Botafuco and Agno Phillip rounding out the top 10.
Starting 11th this evening, Kenny Brady alongside Kenny Humpy. The Kennys occupying the 6th row. Logan Helton starts in 13th, and Noah Bitts rolls off the 14th position. Daniel Eberhardt for the team starts tonight in 15th. He's joined on the outside of row 8 by Christopher Pfeffer. Matt Kemp starts 17th, Jack Nichols 18th. Boyd Hogan and Briar LaPrade complete the top 20.
Yeah, looking on back to row 11, it's going to be Zeke Willis next to Drew Freynage. Jonathan Delaney in row 12 alongside Justin Smith. Michael P. Frisch in row 13 with James Holzer to his outside. Larry Pace and Dominic Lukomsky in row 14. And then rounding out your top 20, going to be Matt Danson starting from the 19th position and Joseph.
21st tonight belongs to Kevin Champagne, making top split debut. Jake Sylvia to the outside. Your final 3, Casey Tucker, Kyle Dragon, and Candles. Blake McCandless. He is starting P last. He told us before the race that he was not going to qualify. So business as usual for him. He's going to start out back. Since we haven't moved yet, let's talk about strategy, if there is any. And let's go to Justin Malillo for that strategery. Justin, good evening.
Good evening, Jacob. And yeah, I'm sure there is a little bit of strategy to be had here at the Monster Mile. This is a self-cleaning track, as we've already gone over. If they wreck, which they might, it's definitely one of those ones where cautions can happen and will happen, and they'll happen big. We could be setting up for a different type of race depending on how many cautions we get, when we get those cautions. They have a tire set limit of 4 in this race. It's 120 laps. It's not the longest race, but we'll have to see when the cautions fall, if the cautions fall. If they don't, I think it's a pretty straightforward race. If they do, we may see some strategery going on.
Perfect. Thank you, Justin. We're getting ready for the green flag, the field, heading into turn number 3. You see your weather. It's pretty toasty here in Dover. The end of April, the date set for Saturday. Air temp 76, track temp 102. We'll see if Miles the Monster strikes at anybody tonight here from Dover. Round 6 of the eNASCAR qualifying iRacing series is underway. Trouble off turn 2, one truck sideways to the inside wall. That's Daniel Botafuco. Big crash on the back straightaway, and the caution's out on lap 1. Half a dozen trucks are involved, stopped over there. Oh man, Botafuco was the first car I saw sideways, and they're littered all over the racetrack. Turn number 2.
Did we not talk about this, though, no less than 5 minutes ago, how turn 2 ends up funneling just with the way the wall creeps up on the back straightaway on corner exit? That's exactly what happened here with Botafuco and company, and everybody else had absolutely nowhere to go. The replay will show more, but it's a classic restart Dover wreck on the backstretch.
Yeah, and I mean, you see here, Kenny Brady making it 3 wide, and already these guys are just getting all stacked up, and you see just not enough room there. Off of turn 2, that little hump, as you come off the corner, it will come out to bite you.
Sorry, I'm trying to listen to the Falcons pick here, and I don't know who in the world they're picking. But Roger Goodell is going through a speech right now. Oh, man, Botafuco kicks off the inside wall and comes back up. Brian LaPrade gets involved there. You see the 20 truck involved. That is Drew Freinage involved. A lot of wrecked race trucks, and they will all come to the pit lane. So most of the leaders will stay out. And the 8th pick of the NFL Draft of 2023, the Atlanta Falcons select Bijan Robinson.
Yes.
No!
Yeah, so for context for our viewers.
Picks.
Yeah,
He
for context.
he went to the wrong bird team. Dang
Jacob and I have been quarreling over Bijan Robinson all night at who's going to get him. So I've been calling Bijan to the Falcons for a while now, and I'm happy.
All right, well, I'll live. Hopefully that means we're picking a defender. But the only good news is, because I had heard that some Cowboys were going to try and trade up and get Bijan before the Eagles. I'm glad he's not in the division. I hate that he's in the conference, but I'm glad he's not in the division. Nonetheless, we have news. Hold on. The Eagles have traded. The Bears are now the 10th pick, but they're also the 9th pick. Is this going to change? Yes, the Eagles have the 9th pick. And the NFC champs are on the clock. Uh-oh.
Gotta be for Jalen Carter. Gotta be for Jalen Carter.
Honestly, yeah, like 110%. Because here's the thing. Philadelphia is the one place where people with documented character issues can go and find ways to make it work, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I mean,
like, I feel like Jalen Carter in this spot for any other team wouldn't work out well, but I had this weird feeling the Eagles are going to be able to make him useful.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think, too, with the leadership that D-line already has. You're going to have Fletcher Cox in there to be a mentor. You're going to have Jordan Davis, who is with Jalen Carter at Georgia. So, I feel like this has got to be him.
Half a lap to green. The Bears also got a 4th-round pick in next year's draft from the Eagles for the 9th pick. We will see what happens, and hopefully we get a little green flag racing before they make the pick. But as you can tell, our experts believe that Jalen Carter from Georgia will be going to the city of brotherly love. Meanwhile, Alex McCollum and Jake Matheson are set to go for the restart. Pace car is in, and we'll try and get a full lap in this time. Green flag is in the air. We're back to racing from Dover. Great launch from McCollum down on the inside of the racetrack. He is well clear. Matheson clear as well as they go to turn 1.
And so the single file game begins out front, and we will see who manages to make things happen towards the back half of the top 10. I see Brian Mercurio trying to stick to the inside and Seth DeMerchant just a little bit further back in your screens, but look at that. The top 10 immediately went single file for the most part.
Andrew Navarro about lost his lunch coming off turn number 4 there. James, he got really sideways. This track is slick, as we talked about, up over 100 degrees. The track temp, not a lot of grip out there, especially as these guys get the rubber into the racetrack, and it'll be a handling game all afternoon long. You make a mistake, that could open up the door for somebody to get to the inside and pass you.
And I mean, already you're starting to see moves. Brian Mercurio just had a great pass on Seth DeMerchant, who's just kind of stuck up in this middle lane right now, and that truck not handling well. He's got to find a way to get down in line, and he will behind the number 5 of Ray Alfala. And again, we're already just starting to see the single file because, we've already seen once, if you go 2, sometimes even 3 here at Dover, bad things tend to happen.
There's a little double wide. It's back around. I think Noah Bitts and company. Yes, it is. Kenny Humpy, Matt Kemp, all in this battle. Here comes Bryla Pratt to the inside, trying to pick his way through as they make their way back to the front straightaway. Bitts there, the green truck to the inside.
One of the very few side-by-side battles. I wonder how much the groove will shuffle up, if at all, over the course of this race. I don't expect it to, based upon my knowledge of this racetrack and how it evolves over the course of 120 laps. But something worth noting here. But for now, not a surprise that everybody wants the bottom and no one wants to take any sort of risks up on the high line.
There you see McCullum. He's opened up that lead to half a second over Matheson. Navarro is in third. He's got Zach Nichols all over the tailgate. You ride on board out the back of Navarro. He's had a strong couple of weeks. We have not shown the points yet. Crash! Turn one. 2 trucks in the wall at the back of the field. Zeke Willis and Boyd Hogan have come together. There is no caution. Here come the leaders to turn one. One on the apron, one on the wall. We stay green. Is Ben Easterday calling race control? How is there no caution for that? My goodness. There you see Willis up against the outside wall in that 35. He was already involved in the first wreck, and here he is now involved in this one.
That was payback.
Oh, was it? The way they came together, coming down the front straightaway, it almost looked like there were some shenanigans going on. Let's see if we can get a replay. They were the last 2 trucks in the field. And there you see Hogan to the inside. And, oh, yeah, that looks a lot like Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. And you see 35 bug out against the outside safety barrier. Harvick and Busch at a Busch Series race, what was then the Busch Series, here at Dover long ago, maybe 2005, 2006.
So, yeah, I went back and I looked at the replay just to see where this was coming from. And I think Boyd's perspective is that Zeke Willis arca braked him in that first wreck, and that's why he made the point to get into Zeke the second time. So that's where that all starts, if you're wondering why that happened.
Is this the place to handle that, though?
It's a place. It's a place you can handle it.
I guess, but I don't know. Boyd Hogan may need to remember that if things go the wrong way in 2 weeks at Darlington. Roger Goodell is at the microphone. Yes, the Chicago Bears have traded the 9th overall pick to the Philadelphia Eagles for the 10th overall pick and for a 2024 4th-round pick. The Eagles have selected, in the 9th spot, Jalen Carter from Georgia, the defensive tackle.
We look pretty good, don't we, Caleb?
Yeah. I mean,
all right, so who do the Bears take? Who do the Bears take at 10, then, wise guys?
So who are the Bears taking? Where's my big board?
I can't stress, though, for the Eagles there how great that is, because coming into the draft process, a lot of people thought Jalen Carter was the best player in the draft, and the NFC champions have just selected him.
So, okay, so, all right, so I think you have 2 options if you're the Bears here. You've got Paris Johnson from Ohio State, or you got
Paris Johnson went to the Cardinals.
Or rather,
Paris was already drafted.
Okay, so then that makes that almost by default Peter Skoronski, yeah? The Northwestern guy, local product?
Yeah, I mean, he has guard flexibility, too, because the arm length. So I feel
more importantly, making sure that Justin Fields doesn't get clobbered on every play.
Yes,
so, yeah.
I feel it. Yeah, I feel like Skoronski.
And
look, they're already in. Pick's already in. They know who they want.
Pick is in.
That fell into their lap the same way Ike Ekwonu fell to the Panthers last year. Local product from NC State. Same sort of game, it seems like to me.
That's Bryla Pratt there. You see making the pass on the 25. That is Logan Helton, I think.
Bryla Pratt, we would assume Manchester native, so a fellow Tennessee Titans fan alongside Caleb Hoffman.
Frisch, that's Matt Kemp. Okay. For whatever reason, because we're not allowed to have custom numbers on, stuff's broke between what I see and what the broadcast sees. So I'm pretty much flying blind here.
Things happen.
You're not supposed to use numbers on the broadcast, though. You're supposed to call people out by name, so it's just Matt Kemp, Kenny Humpy, Michael.
Well, right, but I can't identify who's in the car and match it to a name or in the truck if I don't know what number they're in and have to hunt. Because what they look like on the racetrack does not match the spotter guide that I have, which is supposed to tell me what they're in.
ATVO exists, my friend.
That is ATVO. That is a feature, and I have refreshed a couple of times thinking that
When in
maybe it
doubt,
was
double
picking up
click.
the car numbers, but well, try to at least make life easy, but I guess that's impossible here. McCullum out in front. He's got two tenths over Matheson, who is in second. A little further back, you see 12 of Kenny Humpy clearing Matt Kemp. That's for the 14th position.
Worth noting, and I'm not sure whether or not he gained spots off of that initial incident, but Breyer is up 7 spots from where he started, 20th to 13th, and then Michael P. Frisch up from 25th to 16th, Dominic Lukomsky up from 28th to 17th, Kyle Dragon 34th to 18th. So middle of the pack, a lot of drivers that have gained a lot of spots already.
He is our biggest mover. Battle for 5th, not for long, as Mercurio takes 5th away from the winner 2 weeks ago in Ray Alfala. And Matheson has caught Alex McCullum for the race lead. They have had to pass a couple of lap trucks, but Matheson has reeled him in and is showing the long run speed. Now that we've gotten a couple laps in here under green, 2 laps will have 25 laps down already.
And looking right now, one guy I've seen be very aggressive so far has been Kenny Brady. I mean, on the initial start, he took it 3 wide, and he has not been afraid to try to make moves with this truck, and now he's to the inside of Seth the Merchant. So right now, Kenny Brady, who just made the pass for the 7th position, is certainly just doing whatever it takes here to get this truck up inside near the top 5.
See Kenny Brady up to the 8th spot. He was right around that carnage there on the opening lap. Meanwhile, he's in a battle right now. He's got DeMerchant behind him. He's won already this year. And Alfala in front of him. He's already won this year.
Just talent all over, I think, is the easiest way to sort of set this up. And then you look at some of the drivers just ahead: Zach Nichols, Andrew Navarro, Jake Matheson, Alex McCollum, all not necessarily in a position of needing a win per se, but it wouldn't hurt them to get a win. You'd feel, I think, very comfortable if you're any one of those 3-4. You win here, you don't necessarily, get a free pass per se, but it almost becomes a start and just don't get wrecked game, I would say, at Darlington and Charlotte, and you're probably going to make top 70.
And we didn't get really a chance to talk about point before the drop of the green flag and how points look, because there are some folks that are all but locked at this point as far as the next round of or moving on to this next round. And I should probably pull that up as we speak. James, I see we have the same idea. Nobody officially locked yet, but Seth the Merchant has 648 points over last place. That is with the drop. So he is looking pretty good. And as long as he starts these next 2 races, we will see him for sure in round 2.
Depending on how things go, he may well lock himself in after tonight. That's certainly a possibility. Quarter of the way through proceedings here at Dover. Everybody, I mean, the amount of single file, save your stuff, race the track, even at this stage, is astounding to me. Although, this is a place where that's not necessarily a bad sort of thought. As the Bears pick Darnell Wright, and that's why I'm the only one who's carrying the broadcast at this point.
Well, no,
okay.
I was waiting for you to stop because Matheson took the lead. We missed that. You saw it live, but we never actually acknowledged it by voice. So, new leader Jake Matheson. I was going to get to Darnell Wright, offensive tackle who was going to the Bears, who went to Tennessee.
Tennessee.
And Tennessee is next on the clock. So the Titans will try not to embarrass themselves here with their first pick at number 11. Meanwhile, battle for second starting to heat up as Andrew Navarro is trying to reel in McCullum, and it just looks like Matheson stronger on the long run, McCullum not so much, Caleb.
And I mean, looking around right now, again, it's all about conserving your stuff right now. Looking at the best laps that have been logged today, you know, you're around a 23 flat, give or take a tenth. And now you're seeing guys that are, you know, 24 5s, 24 6s even. So, you know, already in 30 laps, you're seeing about a second and a half of fall off in terms of times. And some of that is conservation, sure, but I mean, a lot of this is just, again, how grueling this surface is.
Doubt about it. Scanning down through, trying to find a driver to talk about. How about Zach Nichols in position number 5? Right now, he is on the back door of Brian Mercurio, and he's in a cluster with Kenny Brady behind him. So we will be, when the leaders cross the line here, 13. I can't math. How about 35 laps complete? Something like that.
If you can't do math, we're in big trouble, because I don't trust myself with math. I am a word person, not a math person.
That is the lack of sleep that set in there with that 13.
I will also like to,
because I looked at the number, had it in my head, and just said 13 anyway.
I would also like to point out that our resident Tennessee Titans fan, I thought he was just going to leave his mic muted here amongst our booth, just to make sure
he's
that we
going
didn't
to
hear the live
scream if
reaction.
it's Will Levis.
Yeah. You're gonna. Last year when we traded AJ Brown too, it was a similar feeling where I just had to leave the mic muted. So we might get something similar here if Will Levis comes off. But
just make sure you do that before the pick is not out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here comes one to the inside. I thought so. A little further back there.
Right.
Kenny Humpy.
Christopher Pfeffer,
way
and
up the
Agnew
hill.
Phillip,
Yeah.
and Noah Bitts and Briar LaPrade. Yeah, this is starting to become a good pack here. As you see Ray Alfalo make the move underneath Blaze Crawford. That's for the 8th position. And then
that's a lapper. I saw Freinage off the pace and thought it was for position, and it's not. He's a lap down. He was involved in that crash. This is for 2nd. McCullum and Navarro here off turn 4.
Yeah, Navarro here is one I've been watching a little bit. Alex McCullum, you know, led a few laps, but has kind of been on the back step a little. Navarro's been reeling him in. I just don't know if he has quite enough to get past the 11 truck. Certainly, again, reeling him in and trying.
Navarro, I think, just going to take his time. Try not to kill those tires.
And this is a race where Navarro, it's not quite house money, but he's 390 points clear of the cut line with the drop. So about a race away from Seth DeMerchant's position, effectively. But this kind of good run, you know, you knock out a top 5 here in that position, you're effectively in the same boat as Seth DeMerchant. Just make sure you don't have a completely awful last place finish at Darlington or Charlotte, and you're probably going to be in round 2. It was round 2 a year ago and won in round 2 a year ago as well. So
it's one thing to make it to round 2. It's another thing to make it to contender, and it's another thing to make it to the Coke Series. Just ask that car you see, not Kenny Brady, but Seth DeMerchant, who's right in front. He made it all the way to contender last year, but just couldn't find a way, while a lot of his Altus teammates did make it into the Coke Series this year. Tucker Minter, Jordy Lopez Jr., Michael Cozy Jr., all a part of the Coke Series roster this year. And Murch is one of the few guys that were left on the outside looking in, and he's had a strong start to the year. He leads the points as of right now, and I think at this point in his mind, he would love for round 2 to run through him as well. But I think what really matters is making it back to contender and trying to redeem himself in the B car in contender at the end of the year.
maybe the running storyline of the last 3-4 years, drivers that have points to prove, that make it to contender, perform poorly, and then have to go all the way through the process again the next year and make it happen. Donovan Strauss was that person 2 years ago. A lot of the Altus teammates of Seth DeMerchant were those people last year. Could Seth be the person this year? There are all the resources there at Altus Esports for him to be a top 20 finisher in the Contender Series come the end of the calendar year. but it just depends on how things pan out. But this is the same sort of Seth that we saw in round 1 last year. The speed, the ability to, with relative ease, make it into round 2. I don't know if we're really going to learn that much before we hit Contender. We could. It depends on how he performs in round 2 of the qualifying series, because you saw Donovan Strauss have a big performance in that in 2021, but it lines up very nicely as of now for the main native.
There you see Zach Nichols losing a spot there to Seth the Merchant. He'll slide in line in front of Kenny Brady. So he'll only lose one spot. Before Roger Goodell comes out and speaks to the world, I would like to remind Caleb Hoffman, please do not curse on television. No matter the pick, good, bad, or ugly, for the Tennessee Titans.
You don't gotta worry, we're good.
The pick has been in as well. Kenny Brady moves Zach Nichols going into turn number 3 up the racetrack. He's been aggressive already, and he just boot scoot and boogied Zach Nichols up out of the way. And here comes the Grand Poobah himself out the tunnel. Here he comes, walking his way to the podium.
Before we get a franchise-altering pick here, I just wanted to say, too, Christopher Pfeffer had a big moment off turn number 2. Recollected that truck and retains 9th position, but
the pick is Peter Scaronzi, the offensive tackle from Northwestern. That is not Will Levis. Reaction from the resident Titans fan, Caleb Hoffman.
I'm good with that. Go through the trenches. As
Sounds
long
like
as it
you're
wasn't Will
whelmed.
Levis. Yeah, I was really scared he was going to say Will Levis.
No, I like that too for the Titans. That's a pick that feels very much like a Riley Reefy sort of pick, or anybody who's picked an Iowa offensive lineman the last 10, 15 years, where they're going to be around in 3, 4, 5 years, and you probably will have a decent team where this kind of player will have been around to see the entire rise of it. Skronsky seems like somebody that, barring the unexpected, could be in Nashville for a long while.
So now Ryan Tannehill's only going to get hurt once instead of twice next year, right? That's what that means?
He's a piece that you can keep as you tear down the rest of the roster, which is what the Titans probably are going to do, right?
And send Ryan Tannehill hitchhiking to Alaska.
I've heard it's nice up in Fairbanks.
Well, Caleb has progressively gone from muted to deafened in the last 10 seconds, so I presume that we will be running without him for the next little while, and that's okay. Jake Matheson is your race leader. He's opened up a 1.9-second lead over Alex McCollum. You saw Navarro there. He's in third. Another 7/10 back to Mercurio, fourth. DeMerchant is fifth. Kenny Brady is sixth. Zach Nichols is seventh. The winner at Bristol, Ray Alfala, is eighth. He is closing in right now on Zach Nichols for that seventh spot. Christopher Pfeffer, is ninth. Blaze Crawford is in 10th. Tightest battle on the racetrack right now belongs to 11th. Agnell Phillip, Noah Bitts right now are duking it out, as well as our in-race reporter Blake McCandless just made a pass on Matt Danson for 21st. Here's the battle that we just talked about with Bitts and Phillip as we are closing in on halfway in this race. Just 8 laps make it 7 laps away.
This race is flying by. I don't think we're even going to get to a Giants pick before this race is over.
Did the Giants even have a first-round pick? That's how little. Outside of the Eagles' 10th and 31st pick, I know nothing. So,
no, 30th, because they got the Dolphins pick got revoked after they tampered.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right.
No, well, I have the Giants at 25th.
Yeah, Giants are at 25.
They're going to draft a quarterback.
They better not.
After
Hendon Hooker, come on down. You're a New York Football Giant.
Lions, but they're picking really fast. I wonder if they go Christian Gonzalez here.
Twitch chat saying that the Lions are going to draft a Hall of Famer here, so no pressure, right?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's the pick.
Oh, wow, that's quick.
The Lions select with the 12th pick Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back from Alabama. Wow.
Two running backs in the top 15?
They need somebody to replace
Jamal Williams, yeah.
Yeah, Jamal Williams, who's now with the Saints. And I've heard rumblings that they were considering trading DeAndre Swift to move up. Obviously, it's a little late for that now, but they're going to take Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama, and he was kind of the backup plan in my mind as far as who the Eagles could take later on at the end of the first round, but instead, Gibbs goes to Detroit.
We have pit stop.
Yes, we do. Zach Nichols, the first truck to head to pit lane for green flag pit stops. This opens up the window as we've got one really slow in the middle of 3 and 4, almost collected a couple of trucks trying to get down to pit road. And Caleb, we've seen it here at Dover before. It's very difficult to pit under green here. A lot of drivers overshoot it and a lot of drivers crash.
Well, again, with how much momentum you're carrying around this racetrack, it is just so easy, like you said, to overshoot that. And we've seen it time and time again. So these guys have got to worry about not only getting onto pit road, but getting through a cycle cleanly, getting off pit road. And you can see Matt Kemp coming back from about the 25th position. He's another one. He's going to slide the tires just a little bit. And again, just so hard to get down from race speed onto the pit road here. Only 35 mile per hour speed limit.
What I couldn't tell before we go back to the rest of the racing, he got help. There was contact between Kemp and another truck entering turn 3, and I couldn't tell whether or not his original plan was to come down last time by, or if he tried to sort of co-opt the situation and turn it into a stop. You'll see it here on the replay. You get that bump from the 28 machine into Kemp. That was Dominic Lukomsky who got into the back of him, and he tried to make pit road, but just couldn't slow down enough. So was he trying to come down pit road to start, and Lukomsky just wasn't aware? Or did he try and co-op it once he got the hit and say, I might as well, and then miss pit road anyway?
Radios are a wonderful thing. As here comes the 19 onto pit road. That's Kyle Dragon. Another one comes in. That is the 22 of Justin Smith. He missed pit road the first time. He comes on to pit road. Rather, it's Jake Sylvia that missed pit road the first time. He's on pit road right now. Hearing a couple more pittings. Christopher Pfeffer is in. Agnell Phillip about gets run over, but makes it onto the pit lane. As that was calamity. And oh man, one truck just barely missed. Kevin Champagne about drop kicked the barrels at the entrance of pit road, but he is okay. Here's some 3-wide action. Fresh tires on the outside there in Kemp. Old tires rather for LeBrad, and the truck to the inside of him. As more trucks coming to pit road. Noah Bitts is in. Oh, Frisch sent it, and I thought he was going straight for the tires. A couple of others make their way onto pit lane right now. Black flag though, and I'm trying to get to. Oh, Frisch again. That's the second day in a row where Frisch has gotten a black flag when he doesn't need one. He did it last night in the World 600. He does it tonight in the eNASCAR qualifying iRacing series from Dover. Man.
And this is arguably the most dangerous time in this race because you've got drivers on old tires, drivers on new tires, and the lap difference is staggering. It's almost a full second and a half between Kemp on fresh tires and your leader, Jake Matheson, who now finds his way down pit road.
That was awfully close. He gets it down there. Kenny Brady is in. Andrew Navarro is in. Joseph is coming to the pit lane right now. Drivers locking up the tires to get it down to pit road speed. Oh, no! The 27 straight to the tires. That's Joseph. He immediately toes. He was going to miss pit road by a mile. Instead, Joseph kamikazes it straight into the barrels at the entrance of pit road, and that machine is junk. And now, oh, man, look at this. Guys not knowing that they're pitting. This is DeMerchant and Mercurio. Look out.
That's really big for Joseph because he only entered tonight 102 points clear of 70th with the drop. So now that sort of mistake, that one mistake right there coming down pit road may force him to run Darlington and Charlotte, and he may need good finishes at both in order to be assured of a top 70 spot. That's going to put him right in the thick of the battle for the cut line.
And he has left the server. He is done for the night. That thing was killed after hitting the barrels. Ray Alfala is in. Briar LaPrade is in. Larry Pace is on pit road right now. You see him down and away. That's the white and orange car in your picture. There you see the 26 of Blake McCandless. He's known for fuel mileage. Now, he can't stay out the whole way, so obviously he will have to pit at some point, but I think he was hoping for a caution flag to come out. He's joined by half a dozen others that are staying out. Matt Danson, Casey Tucker is making a stop right here. Justin R. Smith, Jake Nichols, Logan Helton are all staying out as Tucker makes his stop. Everybody else has come to the pit lane. Zach Nichols right now would come out to be your race leader. He pitted 7 laps earlier, just about, than everybody else, and he has leapfrogged much of the field. He's got a 3-second lead over the next car behind him in Matheson. Meanwhile, Danson to the pit lane. He'll make his stop. That leaves 4 drivers left. The Green Bay Packers are choosing right now in the draft. Pick is in. And we'll see who they select at the 13th spot in the NFL draft. As right now, Danson's still on the pit lane getting service. And Justin, you have speculation here that they could make it pretty long here on fuel before they need to come to pit road.
Yeah, I'm wondering because Blake is somebody who definitely tried this type of strategy, right? Like he's definitely the fuel guy. He's definitely going to try, and as he's coming into pits anyway, never mind. But I did calculate it was about 100 laps that they could go on fuel if they were really conservative. The tires definitely would not hold up that long. But if somebody's trying to go long and trying to play something to maybe a perfectly timed caution, that could be a play for someone like a Justin R. Smith, or I guess he's it right now, right? Because I think they're going to come around to Zach Nichols is going to take the lead here shortly.
The Green Bay Packers, with the 13th overall pick, have selected Lucas Van Ness, a defensive end from Iowa. Jordan Love breathes a sigh of relief that they did not draft a quarterback.
Yeah, Van Ness will be good with Rashawn Gary.
Hope so. 3 trucks left have yet to stop. It's Smith, Nichols, and Helton. Smith, your leader, by about 8 seconds over Nichols. Helton is 4 more seconds back. And we're estimating that they can go maybe another 30 laps on fuel. Tires with speed obviously won't last them that long. But we are well past the halfway point. And the hope for a caution is dwindling. Somebody just came over the radio and said they are pitting in. We'll find out. It is Nichols. No, yes, it is. And he missed pit run. I think he's going to pit next time.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know about the call to stay out here. You're just, at this point, bleeding lap time. Looking at the last few laps here, I mean, these guys that have stayed out, between Jake and Nichols and Justin Smith were, doing 25 twos, and then you had everybody else. Zach Nichols specifically was just about at that 24 flat second range, which, I mean, even he's been out 16 laps on this run so far. But I mean, again, you're just bleeding lap time at this point. You gotta bite the bullet, I feel like, and come down. And now Justin Smith.
Well, and Helton's in an interesting spot here because he was passed by the guys that have already made their stop, so he is getting eaten alive. There you see him there. Now he's in a little bit of clean air as Justin Smith comes onto pit road right there, and he will make his one and only stop. Crash, turn one truck sideways up to the outside wall. He keeps it pointed in the right direction. That's Matt Kemp, one of the guys that stopped early. And they were 3 wide, only 2 of them knew it, and Kemp gets drop-kicked going into turn 1.
Don't know if there's much that could have been done about that if you're Matt Kemp. That's a situation where you don't have a live spotter with you. It's hard, and it's a luxury that you can afford in the Coach Series, but with so much competition here, difficult to have people ready and available for you in that way. This is a place where it would have helped, but it's part of the challenge of racing the qualifying series and part of what makes it so difficult.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have traded to the 14th overall pick. They were picking at 17. They swapped with New England. So the Steelers are on the clock. Heard something pass rushers. Meanwhile, we are closing in just 40 laps to go. Jake Matheson is out in front. He's going to have to come onto pit road. No, he's not. Everybody made their stops. I'm paying attention. Matheson is your leader by 1.8 seconds over Alex McCullum. We'll see if they can make it all the way to the end without a caution. We're back after this here on FTF.GG. here from Dover for the eNASCAR Qualifying iRacing Series, round number 6 in round 1, race number 6 of round 1, rather. Jacob Pitts, James Pike, Caleb Hoffman with you. Justin Malillo is our crew chief, Zach Johnson, our producer. The pick is in for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who did a swap-a-rooney with the New England Patriots, and the 14th pick of the NFL draft belongs to the Steelers, and they select... Come on. Yeah, they select Broderick Jones, I can't hear. Offensive tackle from Georgia.
Supreme,
Good pick.
supreme David DeCastro vibes with that.
Yeah. I mean, get Kenny Pickett some protection. He's got weapons with Najee and George Pickens and everybody else, and you get him some tackle help. It's a good pick.
Pat Fryermuth, Penn State legend.
Oh, yeah. How could I forget Muth?
Yeah.
Kind of surprised they didn't go Joey Porter there, honestly.
That was the rumors that Porter was going to go to the Steelers. Please don't go to Dallas. Please don't Micah Parsons us. Please. I can't do 2. I can do 1. I can't do 2. Nonetheless, here's a battle. This is Kenny Brady and, Zach Nichols. This has beef written all over it. There was contact between these two earlier. Nichols can't quite hold on to the back bumper of the tailgate of Brady, and Brady will scoot away. That is 6th place.
And again, Zach Nichols was this guy, he was charging up through the field earlier, but I feel like that fall-off's hit him a little bit. Whereas he's coming around lap 30 on this set of tires, and then everybody else is, about 7 laps with fresher rubber. So,
And then Kenny Brady's sort of on the reverse track. He's up from 11th to 6th from where he started. Christopher Pfeffer up from 16th to 9th, and Brian LaPrade continues to maintain that gain track position up 10 spots from where he started, as we have another truck come down pit road briefly. But a lot of these drivers right on the edge of the top 10 doing a nice job gaining track position. And then Dominic Lukomsky, I think, may be the hardest charger. He and Kyle Dragon, I think, are tied for it, plus 14. Lukomsky started 28th and Dragon 20th.
Close. Champagne's also in that mix. He's gone up 14 spots, started 31st.
We have a
17th.
three-way
It
tie.
belongs.
Jeez, okay.
Well, no, because that's for second. Blake McCandless has moved up the most, started dead last. He's now in 19th. He's plus 16 spots since the drop of the green flag.
Thank you for being my editor.
Yep.
This is where I put an asterisk and put a note. Apologies. Especially to Blake. I should have known that, especially with the strategy that he took, that he would gain a whole bunch of spots.
This is Agnell Phillip and Noah Bitts that you were watching them. There's Ray Alfalla. He slid down the order a little bit to the 8th spot. He's got Zach Nichols in front of him. Christopher Pfeffer a good ways behind him. 31 trucks are still on the racetrack. 23 of them are on the lead lap. We're inside 30 to go, the final quarter of this race from Dover. Dover Motor Speedway, by the way. I don't know if I said that any sort of correctly at the start of the broadcast. I could have just said international and not noticed. I bolded, underlined, italicized, and highlighted the word motor in our document, but because of the draft, I did not look at the document whatsoever when we went live, so it's very possible that I just glazed over and said international anyway.
It sounds so
Dover
foreign,
Motor
doesn't
Speedway.
Dover
Yeah,
Motor,
I know.
Dover Motor, Dover Motor, Dover Motor.
I will
Motor,
never
Dover
get
Motor.
used to it. It's the same thing that they did to New Hampshire. Back in the day, it used to be
Right.
New Hampshire International Speedway. Now it's New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Yeah.
Bob Bear times. There's a throwback for
Side by side, this is Phillip and Bitts for the 11th spot as the New York Football Jets, Aaron Rodgers' team, is on the clock.
you. That's not how that works, is it?
What do you mean?
They're just the New York Jets. I don't think they were ever New York baseball Jets.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, when you say New
Whatever.
York football, it screams Giants.
Giants, right, exactly.
New York
Look at the
Football
Lower
Giants. And, all
baseball
right, well,
Giants.
whatever.
Right. All right, now I'm your editor. Okay, cool.
Well, it could just be New York Jets that are flying out of LaGuardia, but no, they're the football Jets, where they
They're
take
the
off and
tenants.
then crash and burn.
It is still Giant Stadium to me.
Yeah. And they still play in New Jersey, so how about that?
Touche.
Frauds.
friend from high school that ended up cheerleading for the Jets. Actually,
There you go.
so
If the Jets draft Will Levis, I swear, Rodgers would ask for a trade tonight.
Yeah, put the flame under him so he can get back to MVP form.
Yeah. He said, that's it, I'm done. I've already got, what's his name that's probably going to cut his brake line on day one of practice. I can't.
Jordan Love?
Zach Wilson.
Oh.
No, Zach Wilson in New York.
Zach
So,
Wilson's gonna cut a brake line.
he said he's going to do whatever he can to make the other guy's life miserable, so.
No,
know,
I thought it
figured-
was. I thought it was. On the field, I'm gonna make it miserable, and off the field, I'm gonna be the nicest guy ever.
Maybe.
I'm pretty
But,
sure that was the context that I gathered. I could be wrong, but
Hide Aaron Rodgers' mom. How about that? Nonetheless, we're coming to 20 laps to go. So this should be over in about 8 minutes and change as long as we stay under green. Matheson with a 3.5-second lead over McCullum. Navarro is third. Mercurio fourth. DeMerchant fifth. And that's a solid battle right now between those two. They're within 0.2 of each other, and it's one of the best battles on the racetrack.
at this point, though, largely for bragging rights, because we've waxed poetic about DeMerchant's position in the live points with the drop all night long. And when you dig into things, not that much worse for Brian Mercurio, honestly. He's in a pretty good spot just the same. 17th officially, 398 points back of DeMerchant, but more importantly, 250 clear of the drop, which would put him in good position to start and largely clinch at Charlotte. So he'll need to race at Darlington and perform well, but if he performs well at Darlington, you are all but assured of seeing Brian Mercurio in the next round, especially off the back of his victory at Texas earlier in round one top split.
So the Jets draft room is celebrating, but the pick is not in yet. They have under a minute to get that pick in. So I don't know if ESPN is dropping the ball here, no pun intended, or what the deal is.
Who was it? Like the Vikings that forfeited 2 draft picks because they just couldn't get the pick in?
Oh, okay, the pick is in, just like that.
That would be very
Just had to
Vikings.
bully him a little bit. Yep.
Also, shout out to the Ukrainian flag and the Jets won.
Wow.
I noticed that.
Are they going to be playing a game there or relocating the franchise there or something? Giving New Jersey
hope
sole
not.
ownership to the New York Football Jets? Giants, darn it!
Yeah, see, you're messing yourself up now.
They're in my division and I can't get it right, but you know.
That's a
Go
wolf right
figure.
there.
Like Daniel Love with the football running to the end zone, trip on a turf monster at the 20-yard line and he's tackled, but you know.
Daniel Love.
Daniel Jones, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, fumbling right now. 17
Yeah,
laps
you're
to
having a
go.
good time over
Somebody
there.
just blew up going into turn number 3. Did you see that? That is Boyd Hogan. No. Yes, it is. That just hand grenaded down the back straightaway. Now, he's been involved in a couple of different incidents tonight. He's been to pit road a couple of times tonight, and now the motor has let go. His race is done. Freinage is not going to pass him, so he will finish in the 30th position. Freinage 17 laps back. We only have 16 to go.
I think for Boyd Hogan, I would never want to insinuate anything by phrasing it this way, but if ever there's a space to use the term mercy kill for a race, that's it, because nothing has gone Boyd Hogan's way tonight. So he's not going to love the points deficit he's going to have to make up, but I don't think he's that mad that this race is over, because just nothing has gone his way since the drop at the green flag.
Right on board out the back of Phillip. He had some pressure from Noah Bitts, but he's been able to keep him behind so far. These two have been the best battle on the racetrack so far. The Washington football team commies are next, and they are on the clock, I think,
Yeah, they
for
got
the
7 minutes
16th
left.
overall pick. Nonetheless, side by side, this is Alfala and Nichols for 7th.
Been a really good battle between these two. Ooh, did Nichols get into Alfala there just a little bit on corner
Possible.
exit?
He's been pretty aggressive. Meanwhile, they've brought a fan out to introduce this next pick, so it'll be a bit until Roger Goodell is done yapping away till we get to the actual pick. 15th overall pick of this 2023 NFL Draft. It's a night you'll never remember here on FTF. Coming up, more events on FTF. FTF1 is tomorrow. The ModernRacingPrince.com FTF1 series is at Pocono for the Pocono 400.
Go Pocono.
That graphic is... Zach, that graphic's wrong. It's this Saturday that the Bar Visual FTF Cup Series is racing at Dover. Not next Saturday. It's this Saturday.
I see most.
Oh, that says
Saturdays.
most. Okay. I have it on my tiniest screen, so I thought it said next. My bad. Nonetheless, they're at Dover on Saturday for the Safe Line 200, or Safe Talk 200, rather. Winstel is at Auto Club on Sunday at 8 o'clock. That's a thing. Simcar, they're at Sonoma. And don't forget about Blake McCandless's Underdog Fantasy 87 series. They're at Rockingham here coming up in a few weeks at the start of May. The 15th pick of the 2023 NFL Draft, the New York Jets. Jets, Jets. They pick. Who do they pick? Will McDonald, linebacker out of Iowa State, not Ohio State. So Will McDonald had a farm in Iowa State. Now he's going to New York, the linebacker.
Oh, that's terrible.
Come on. Are you kidding me? Boomer would be proud of that one. Come on now. 7 to go.
Do you want him to be proud of that?
Yes.
Is that the goal here? As you see this really good battle, a little bit further back, we should probably be talking about Noah Bitts plays Crawford and Briar LaPrade fighting with Christopher Pfeffer and Zach Nichols there too, because they've been all there. But of all the people I want the good graces of, I don't know if that guy is one.
Now 7 to go. I got a little ahead of myself, not realizing where the leaders were at on the racetrack. He had a pass for 26, but it's Frisch and Helton who are way back there. Remember, Frisch sped on pit road. They are both 2 laps down. There they are, side by side. Any points they can get, but not where either of them would want to finish this race.
And another battle that I've been kind of keeping my eye on as we continue to tick down laps. Only 6 laps to go has been Seth the Merchant slowly pulling in on Brian Mercurio for the P4 position. It looks like Mercurio, if he just runs a smooth and steady line here, should be able to hold on, but you never know here at Dover.
That is true. There is always a chance that, things could hit the fan. The Commander's pick is in, by the way. The next 3 picks, since these will probably take place after we're off the air. Washington is next, then the Patriots, then the Lions again at the 18th pick. So that's your next 3. Meanwhile, 4 to go. Matheson is put on a clinic. This battle you see here, Kevin Champagne and Blake McCandless. This is for 17th on the racetrack. This is on the lead lap, and Candles has room on the inside, and he's going to try and take the spot away. Larry Pace right behind this. All 3 for position here.
Blake with the fresher tires, able to make the move underneath, and then Pace, I think, just going to follow the line. I'm not necessarily certain he has a better truck, but he's got enough room to make the pass, and Champagne loses 2 spots.
Somebody get Will Levis some coffee with some mayonnaise in it right now. He is not looking well. And Hendon Hooker, well, the knee looks good. Remember, he tore his ACL earlier in the college football season, and he has not gone yet. Well, I really haven't seen much talk about him as far as getting drafted. Caleb, you're the draft expert here. Are we thinking
he won't
maybe
go first
that
round. He's 25.
I was going to
White
say
flag.
that he could be in the 2nd round, but yes, that is the white flag for Jake Matheson. 1 more lap to go here from Dover. Matheson has put on a clinic. We only had the 1 caution on the opening lap, and since that point, we have been clean and green. It's a race to forget for some, but for Jake Matheson, a race to remember in the eNASCAR qualifying iRacing series. Victory number 1 on the season. 6 races, 6 different winners. Jake Matheson wins at Dover.
The variety of winners, and I think the depth of top split, and just how competitive this is. We've talked about it on some of the broadcasts this year, that you can make an argument that on some nights the top split of the qualifying series is tougher to navigate than the Coke series because it is that open sort of free-for-all. That we are yet to have a repeat winner in the first round, I think, underscores that once, twice, 3 times over, even if you want.
Yeah, so he'll burn it down. We'll talk to some people. You know what? While we're here, we didn't get to talk to you because we didn't have a caution after lap number 1, but our in-race reporter, the race is done. You finished 17th. Did you have fun or at least some sort of experience on the racetrack?
It was an experience. Yeah, we got real lucky. That lap 1 wreck cleared out like 8 of them. And then from there, it was just about getting as much clean air as we could. That's the only reason I stayed out. It wasn't necessarily to try to trap the field or get a caution. It just had a little bit of a patch in front of me with some clean air. And then as soon as some traffic got by me, I came down pit road. And I don't know, I had fun. Like good racing there with Larry, Kevin, Matt Danson, Casey Tucker. Race hard, race clean. But yeah, it's a track position game, and you don't have it, you're not going to get it.
Now, is this your last one of these, and you're going to hopefully join us in the broadcast booth for the last 2 races, or are you still going to try and tough it out and run the final 2 at Darlington and Charlotte?
I don't know. Like, I keep having these runs that aren't good, but I'm like close enough that maybe there's a chance. Like, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm out here having a good time. And, it's cool to drive through half the field. It's a really good field. We're really helped by that first caution, obviously, but I felt like we had a pretty good truck, too, that could, pass after a little while. But I don't know. Darlington, we'll see. And then Charlotte's pretty fun to round out this round. So I don't know. I don't know where the points stand, but I think we're at least like, we could have a chance going into the last 2 weeks if we have a good enough race. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right, Blake, thanks for your time. And do we have any news considering 508 Rock?
Shortly. Stay tuned.
Shortly. All right. Hashtag soon, trademark. That's Blake McCandless, finishing 17th tonight. Thank him for his time. We do have all 3 top 3, so I'm impatient. We're just going to jump right into this and move him. Broadcast booth. Jake Matheson, did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I came into this race with a lot of confidence and knew like this is a track I love, this is a combination I love, and with Andrew Navarro putting out rocket ships like he is, I mean it's. I don't need to say much. It was lights out. He put together an amazing piece, and I just had to pilot it to the end there. Had a really fun time with Alex at the front there at the early part of the race. Me and him have always raced respectfully, so it's good racing him as always. And I'm just glad it went green. I'll be honest.
This is going to turn into a Mooncar interview here, but what's your favorite NFL team?
My favorite NFL team, oddly enough, I was discussing that earlier with my pals. I have to go with the Bengals.
Okay, I was hoping it was going to be Commanders since they just made their pick. They picked Emmanuel Forbes, a corner from Mississippi State. Patriots, their pick is in, but
Nice.
Bengals don't pick till a little bit later. Jake, congratulations on the win. 6 different winners in the first 6 races in top split, and we'll see you in 2 weeks from the Lady in Black from Darlington. Best of luck.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you very much. And as always, thanks for putting this on for everybody to watch. It's an absolute awesome thing you guys are doing. So thank you, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
That's Jake Matheson, your winner tonight from Dover. We'll go to second place, Alex McCullum, who is with James Pike.
Alex McCollum, I feel like in a lot of ways this is almost an overgrown short track. And given your experience on the sim with tracks under a mile in length, was it easy to sort of transition into figuring out this place and how to run it well?
Um, yes and no. I mean, Dover's it's a tough track. You still need to race it pretty hard and have good throttle control and stuff. But honestly, dude, I don't know how I got P2. I saw a lot of guys were testing today. I'm like, oh, okay, I rode the pros tonight, so I'm like, I got nothing else to do. Ran like 60 laps in the race set, about 30 laps on key set. Somehow qualified on the pole, but I mean, I'll take it with very, very minimal practice.
Solid run all night long, lots of pace. Was there anything you could have done to run down Matheson in the latter half of this, or were you just sort of locked in and clicking off laps to make sure you got the second place finish?
I was trying to get to Matheson, but he just had crazy short run speed. But I think if I had a little bit more, if I was a little bit more free on entry, I think I could have stayed with him. But also, if I practiced a little bit more on the setup, I think I could have been a little bit more closer. But I mean, he was just fast. It was gonna be hard to get to him, but I just gotta say thank you to everybody at Elite for building a pretty damn good setup. Just come in here with no practice. It's crazy to come run with the best.
Shall we see you at Darlington in 2 weeks' time?
Probably won't be. Racing season in real life starting to come up, and then I have a short track league on Thursday, so that's why I'm not on Racing Road to Pro weekly right now. So I try to come in when I have time, but maybe I'll come in here more often.
Alex McCollum with a solid run this evening. Pichu. For him, we now slide to Andrew Navarro, who is with Caleb Hoffman.
And Andrew, a strong P3 here for you tonight. Coming into tonight, you were 8th in points, well inside the top 70. Was tonight just to, get a consistent good finish and right around here, the Monster Mile, or were you aspiring for a little bit more?
I was definitely aspiring for a little bit more. After the 6:45 Open, kind of dawned on me that a second was going to be the best because Jake was on unreal pace. I'm just really happy for him and everybody on our team. And yeah, I wish I could have gotten second there. I just got really loose on the first run and then tight on the last run, so I really couldn't do anything about it. And Alex drove a hell of a race too, so.
And again, we saw that early caution, and then after that, it was just green flag all the way. We've seen some similar trends there in past races. Looking forward to the Lady in Black at Darlington. How do you expect that race is going to play out for you?
There'll probably be a mixed. I don't know. Some people are going to say caution. Some people are going to say green all the way. You just got to play it out. Basically, Darlington's one of those tracks that is just. I mean, it is an unknown. Basically, one lap you're leading, and then you hit the wall, and you're back in 30th. So nothing you can really do to prepare there. But I'm just really happy for our team winning tonight and getting a third, as well as Kenny. And thank you to everybody on our cars. So.
Yeah, well, that's Andrew Navarro. He had an average finish of 10th coming into tonight and only pads it with a third place finish. Great run. Thank you for your time, Andrew.
Thank you, guys.
There we go. Let's try that. It helps to turn the microphone up when you want to try and talk. Nonetheless, it's Christian Gonzalez from Oregon. He's a corner. He goes to Pats. Caleb's not paying attention.
No.
There you go. Hi, how we doing? He's too busy trying to figure out who the Lions are going to pick.
Can we freeze frame that face when he got the word? He was just like,
I'm man, on the
What a
clock.
mess.
My fault.
All right, let's try and speed this home in a hurry here, gentlemen. 2 races to go. Darlington and Charlotte these next 2 weeks. Phew, for the guys that are on the outside looking in, they're going to need a lot of help over these next 2 weeks.
if you don't have pace at Darlington, you're in trouble. I think these two tracks are similar in the sense that you can't cheat them. You can cheat at Daytona and luck into a good finish after running poorly all day. If you run poorly to start at Darlington, you aren't going to have a lot of time to make it up. You have to come out of the box and be quick there if you need to make up points. I don't think you're making up a massive gap at Charlotte and Charlotte alone. There's a little bit more luck involved with Charlotte. Certainly, I think more variance for it than what you'd find at Darlington. But if you're really struggling and you're anywhere between 71st and 100th in points, you need to have a good run in 2 weeks' time in the Lady in Black.
Caleb, with the speed we've seen out of certain drivers, every track we go every week, we've still had 6 different winners in 6 races. Do we keep that string alive over these next 2 races, or does somebody finally get back into that win column? Seth DeMerchant or Abraham Mercurio and punctuates their trip to round 2 with another checkered flag?
I don't know. Like you said, we've seen a fair bit of parity so far this year with all of our different winners. And Darlington, again, it's a completely different challenge than anything we've seen on the schedule thus far. It's so unique of a racetrack. And then looking on to Charlotte, maybe we can see a repeat winner there. But again, with so much up in the air, then it's just hard to bet on it. So I mean, I think very well going into Darlington here in 2 weeks that we keep this string of different winners alive. That's going to be such a fun racetrack to watch these guys go around with these trucks again with its unique characteristics. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get in not only there but Charlotte and then round 2.
We will have to see. The Lions have their pick in. Boy, I hope they're quick because I kind of want to hit this before we get off air.
Oh, what are we waiting on? We might as well. Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah, we might as well. I just want to update some things here by memory as far as the schedule. The modernracingprince.com FTF1 race tomorrow from Pocono. That's at 8:30 Eastern. Saturday night is the Bar Visual FTF Cup Series from Dover. Sunday is the Winstall Gen 4 Challenge 2003 from Auto Club. And then we pretty much have the rest of the week off. Then it takes us until Thursday for us to get rolling with SimCar. That is next Thursday. We're back in 2 weeks from Darlington. That week, by the way, is jam-packed again, kind of like this was with the World 600 the last 2 days. That was on eRacer. The Rockingham 508 comes in just 2 weeks' time, Tuesday and Wednesday. We are on Thursday that week, and then FTF1 and the Bar Visual FTF Cup Series take us through the rest of the week, plus Winstall then on Sunday as well. And you also saw in the graphic earlier, Core, it's coming back. We'll see you in June on Monday nights for the Core Summer Series this year. There was a 1.8% chance that Will Levis would be available at pick 18. That's where we are right now. Caleb, is there any sense whatsoever for the Detroit Lions to select Will Levis as a quarterback here?
I don't know. You have Jared Goff. He's on a super big contract at this point that he got in LA. So maybe you start planning for the future there. I don't know. If I was Detroit, I would have had Anthony Richardson or somebody like that let Jared Goff play out his 2 years left on his contract and keep Anthony Richardson. But I don't think they go Will Levis here. I think you're probably going to see some beefing up because I think they're committed to building a championship team around Jared Goff at this point. And you saw that with Jahmyr Gibbs at 12.
Tampa Bay and Seattle, the next 2 picks here at 19 and 20. After the trading that we saw in those first 10, 12 picks, things have calmed down for the moment, knock on wood. We'll see how things project the rest of the way. And here comes Darth Vader himself down the tunnel.
The amount of nicknames you've come up with for Commissioner tonight, it's impressive.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt probably would have been more appropriate.
We are also only 1 week away from Star Wars Day.
This is true.
Fitting.
Pick 18, the Detroit Lions select Jack Campbell,
wow.
linebacker out of Iowa. So that's another Iowa linebacker getting drafted in the first round. And Iowa was booty cheeks this year, if I remember correctly. So I'm a little surprised by this.
Well, one was Iowa State, and this one's just University of Iowa.
Well, and even though the offense was putrid, it has been putrid for Iowa for the last 2 years. The defense has always been the heart of Kirk Ferentz's program. So this again, I've seen a lot of picks tonight that I look at and I'm like, that makes a ton of sense. And this is another one, especially when you consider Big Ten guy going to Detroit to play for the Lions, won't be too terribly far away. This is one that lines up. Campbell, from what I read over the last few weeks in preparation for the draft, strikes me as a Dan Campbell type of guy where it's just all heart and he'll just go out and go get it
He's
done.
eating kneecaps.
Right.
I was going to say, hang on to
right.
those kneecaps.
Right. Hang on to your kneecaps. So this is one that I like for the Lions. And I guess my final words are you all will enjoy SimCar next week, and I will enjoy getting a little bit older and fatter, and I will tell you all what the other side of 30 looks like once the evening is all done and dusted. And
Oh my, I've got a long ways till I get to that point, but it'll come up.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Tampa
I'm
Bay,
already
not
losing
pretty.
friggin' hair either.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, their pick is already in. Seattle and then the Chargers are the next two picks. But we will say sayonara, good night, see you in 2 weeks here on FTF. It's Jake Matheson, your winner tonight from Dover. For our entire broadcast team, Zach Johnson, our producer, Justin Malillo, the crew chief, Caleb Hoffman, and James Pike alongside me. I'm Jacob Pitts. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks from Darlington. Enjoy the draft, everybody. Good luck.